Hi everybody, welcome to the dungeon. I'm Robin and today is Lampworking Black and White Volume 21. This is a bead that I don't make very often, but I find it just fascinating. The Cosmic Snowflake, and I call it the Cosmic Snowflake because it kind of looks like a snowflake from the side. All the pattern is on the side, and it can look like a star depending on how many dots you put on. It's all about dots. Again, it's all about dots. Dots are probably the most prevailing pattern that there are in bead making and lampworking in general, because so many things begin or end in a dot form or pattern. So what we're going to talk about today is how you can make a really amazing pattern on just a nice wide disc. I hope you guys give this one a try. It's one of those beads that might look a little intimidating because you're raking points of this glass on both sides, but don't let it intimidate you. You have to start somewhere. So let's go ahead and get into this bead. And you guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time in the dungeon. I just love working with black and white, you guys. It's so soothing to me, I can't even tell you. And the soundtrack on this video, I think, is just lovely. It reminds me of how much I enjoy classic film. And Patrick and I were just watching a film noir the other night on YouTube. There's quite a few really good ones on there. You should check them out. Anyway, on with the bead. So for this bead, I'm just starting out, let's say, with just a small, regular size, maybe oversized spacer bead. I don't want it too wide, but I don't want it too thin either. I want a good base bead to build this up with. And I'm just building it up by adding my wraps. And what's happening is that if you add your wraps without delay, then each wrap should melt into the wrap that you just laid down very quickly. So there's not a whole bunch of shaping that you need to do here. You might want to hit it on the side of the marvering table if you need to shape it up some. But once you have a really nice disc, you're going to start adding, I would say, I'm adding 6 dots here on the, we'll call it the equator of this bead. And then I thought, it's been a while since I made one of these. Let me try something a little different. So I went and pressed all of these dots down, and that really, really helped me out. The one I did previous to this one, you'll see at the end, it's just laying flat in the last scene. But I put 5 dots down, and it just didn't, it wasn't perfectly matching up right. So I thought I'd make another one with 6 dots, and that really helped me out, having an even number of dots to start out with if you're worried about not getting perfectly spaced out dots. And I'll just continue by adding the white and doing the same thing. I'm just pressing everything down, and this will be the base of where I will stretch the bead out, or stretch the dots out on either side. I just want to add one more row of black. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbor just started his car next door. Okay, so here's the important part. I have my tungsten pick, and what I'm going to do is I'll heat up each one of those dots individually after I give them all a nice reheat. And then I will just gently grab the edge of it, and I'm really close to the flame when I do this, but I'll just drag it right down to the center of the mandrel. And what I'm doing here, if you haven't noticed yet, is I am doing every other dot. I'm not doing one dot next to the next dot because that will overheat your glass and things will start melting faster than you want. And you don't want to wait too long. You want to do each one of these. I'm doing every other one, and then I turn the rod around and I do the other ones. And I'll go back and forth until they're all finished. I hope that makes sense. But you just don't want to overheat any of these. You really want to get in the flame, get it hot, make your pull, and move on. Okay, and moving on, I'm just going to shape gently the sides of this bead. And I'm going to add a whole nother row of dots. I'll just go back and forth between white and black from here on out. But if I laid down black here instead of white, I would have had a completely different look. So depending on where you're putting your dots or what color you're using, you can have a wide variety of different looks with this bead. And the closer I get to the end of where I want to add my dots, I'll start to use a stringer. And that really helps out because I'm not adding a humongous dot. And it's easier for me to get each dot the same size when I'm using a stringer because I'm only grabbing so much heat every time. I mean, I'm grabbing the same amount as well every time. And now working on the sides here is easy for me because I'm working in the middle of the mandrel, and that really helps me out. So I don't really have a problem, and a lot of people don't. I just have a problem with it because I'm really shaky and I need the extra support. I just am really enjoying this music, you guys. I'm so glad that I have this very small soundtrack of songs to work with. And I wanted to take the time before I'm finished here to let you guys all know that I am just having a blast hearing from you all, your comments, your stories, anything from you guys. I just love to hear. And thank you so much for spending the time with me and watching my demos. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's beyond my expectations. So with that said, you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and we'll see you next time in the dungeon.